Okay, it's working on it. All right, we're live streaming.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our first installation of 14 ambitious programs with the South Coast Interfaith Council and Long Beach Gives. We are here this morning with our executive board, and we'd like to welcome you and hope that you will be generous with your donations. So I will start my introductions. I am Susan Brooks. I'm the current president of SCIC. We have Carol Winder, who is our president-elect. We have Sarah Dean, who is our immediate past president. We have Marietta Fong, who is our treasurer, and Patty Heckman, who is our secretary. And our amazing, amazing staff person, Cheryl Bentz, for whom we couldn't do any of this without her.
Great to be here.
It's great to see everybody here today, and everybody's smiling and happy. And just so thankful for all of you who support the South Coast Interfaith Council, and all of those of you who are supporting us now during Long Beach Gives. You've been very generous, and we're very grateful for it.
Yes, we are so happy to be selected again as a nonprofit under Long Beach Gives. It's such an amazing organization, and it's a place where we can really, come together as a community and share. It's more than just donations. It's sharing. So we're really happy to be a part of it.
It's been one heck of, what are we on now? Has anyone done the math yet? How many months of pandemic are we in now? We've crossed 1.5 years, right? Or are we at, I think we're at about
1.5 years right now.
And it's been such a challenge, continuing to fulfill our mission and vision, which is so close to so many of our hearts through the challenges of the pandemic. And so, there have been some really difficult moments for us as an organization over the last 18 months, thinking about how can we continue to serve in a meaningful way? And so when you see these donations come in, and I don't know, Cheryl, do you have the total of what we've already collected?
I don't, but I can get that for you. Go ahead and keep talking and I'll bring that up.
I feel like the last number I saw was somewhere around, was it 6,000? Am I 6,000 or something? Higher.
Into 7 something now.
And so when you see that number coming in before this week of giving even starts, it's been just so affirming, right? That something we've done has reached people out there in Zoom land. And so that's been really lovely.
We're at a little over $7,600 with 51 unique donations so far.
Wow.
Talk about a reason for gratitude and celebration. We could be grateful not only for all those people who donated, but the people who support the South Coast Interfaith Council and our mission in so many ways, not just monetarily, but with their time and their passion and their emotional encouragement and their words of support. It's really heartwarming, as Sarah said, that there's so much support out there in the community, in the various faith communities, for all the things that we do and what it means to have an interfaith council.
I love that, Marietta. And you're right. It's, for me, I think the thing that inspires and drives me even more is what you said, like the community and the fact that this is a place where our members, our participants, not only do they share their resources, but they share their ideas with us, which I think is such, to be entrusted with their best ideas and dreams is really an honor. I mean, we get, one person comes to mind right now. I was having a conversation with Dale Whitney last week, and he's like, Armistice Day is coming, and he's got these beautiful ideas of how the Interfaith Council can be a voice for peace at this time. But just that we are that place where he feels comfortable and loved enough, and an alignment of values, of course, to bring that. That's a gift. When somebody brings their vision and meets it with ours, That's what keeps, I think, a lot of us here.
Well, and I've only been in the South Coast Interfaith Council, I think maybe 3 years now. But it's amazing to me what a family it is, and that everyone cares about one another. And it just gives such a great opportunity to widen your circle of friends to a group of people that you would not probably normally know. We know who the people we live by, we know the people we go to church with, and we know the people that we work with. And the Interfaith Council just expands that across a much larger area, a much larger group of people. And I know I have so many more friends now than I did before.
We don't just get together and be friends. We actually get together and do things. The elements of education in the programs that we have, we learn so much about each other, about our neighborhoods, our communities, and about the different faiths that we practice and hold dear. That education element and the element of service. I mean, it's one thing to serve in the community. It's one thing to help other people according to your faith, but to join together with others of all these various faiths and to actually do things together, it just multiplies things so tremendously.
Yeah, I always say, and like Carol was saying, you travel in your own social circles. You don't mean to be, restricted or limiting yourself, but that's what happens because, you live in a certain place or you work in a certain place, you go to a certain, center or church or temple for your faith expression. But what I love about the council is like, where else can you go where you're sitting across the table? Well, nowadays you're on the same Zoom meeting as like, a person of Baha'i faith, a person of Zoroastrian faith, of the Jewish faith, of the Muslim faith. It's just you can't really do that. But this is a forum where you can do that, and it's a friendly forum. It's a safe forum. You don't ever have to think, are people going to attack me for my beliefs? Are they going to disparage me? No, this is a place to, have a mutual, respectful exchange. Just like Marietta said, we learn from each other. It's so refreshing to me because I never want to be narrow-minded. I never want to be that kind of person that, is intolerant of other people's opinions, or even if they widely differ from my own. I want to be able to take them in. I don't have to agree with them, but I want to take them in and, respect the person that I'm listening to, and I do want to open up my heart and listen. I think it's so important now in this divisive times that we live in to open up our hearts. So I really find that place in the council. I really find that in our programs. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Sarah, your turn.
I saw Susan unmute.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope my dogs will stop barking long enough for me to talk. They're picking a lovely time to bark at trucks. I think especially in this last year and a half, we have had those really deep discussions. We've been talking about things around equity in different areas of life. And I think the trust that's been built allows us to have those discussions, allows us to start to break down some of those barriers by listening to each other. And even though we've had to switch and be on Zoom, the depth of the programs that we've been able to present and the participants that we've had, it's allowed for an even wider range of participants because people don't have to come in person. So I think we've even had some international participants on some of our programs. And without the trust of being built for so many years of being here, I don't think those programs would have worked.
And I think a lot of that foundation's been laid by Amelia, our wonderful executive director, over the many years of cultivating that space where, I mean, it can't be understated. We don't always all agree. We all have, I love it when we'll have those sessions where things are flowing, and then Carol will speak up in the middle of the Zoom meeting and say, hey, what about this? And you're like, we were like almost at the end, and then Carol points out something that I'm like, well, gosh darn it, I didn't even think of that. That's a really good point. What about that group of people, or what about this? And it's that feeling of, and the reason that I think everyone, or you guys can all speak for yourselves, but like the premise of unconditional love and respect, right? That we can, and we have meetings where, and recently we had one where we had to reschedule an event where there were misunderstandings, or there were, but because we all hold each other, and again, Milia and some of our SAGE Council board members that have been with the SCIC a long time, like Patty Heckman, really have nurtured this environment that I'm just so grateful, and where you can disagree, and more than that, you can make mistakes. It's so hard to make mistakes today, and if we don't feel okay making mistakes, we can't feel okay being brave and doing something innovative and different, right? And so to have a place where you don't have to be perfect, I really appreciate that.
The other thing that we see in the council, I think, that I've experienced, is that you have these people coming together from different backgrounds, different faiths, but they're also contributing many different talents, not just different perspectives, but different life experiences and different things that they offer, that they bring to the council, and that they bring to our mission and to our activities and our programs, which are just beautiful to see that blossom and flower and things come to fruition. And in great part, it's because of that attitude of respecting each other and working together and listening. So I'm just very grateful to be a part of this group and to be witnessing all the wonderful things that happen.
No, Carol, please.
Two of the programs I really like, one of my favorites, of course, is the Interfaith Cafe, because we get together with people Patty's in charge of that, of all different church groups and religions and faith traditions, and talk and give our views on different things, or what our beliefs are. Everyone listens politely and is interested. And it just gives us such an opportunity to realize that we are much more alike than we are different. And the other program that I just was thinking of as Susan and Sarah were talking, what is the courageous conversations in terms of what our life experiences are, and just listening to different people from very diverse backgrounds that I probably would never have met or interacted with, and thinking, oh, well, I've had stuff not that exact thing happen, but other things happen in my life that have been difficult, and listening to how they got through it, or how they overcame it, or how they still are working on it, and that all of us have problems. In life, people want to look like, hey, I'm perfect, nothing's wrong, my family's perfect, everything's wonderful, but it's not like that in any of our lives. We do have wonderful parts, but we also have very difficult parts. And knowing that that is across all the different areas, it's just really nice to know that that we're not the only one experiencing difficulties, and seeing how other people overcome them, and that helps us overcome the problems that we have in our lives as well.
That's absolutely the truth that I've seen, Carol, in this group, because we share each other's joys and we share each other's burdens, and we see how our faith, whatever that faith is, if it's faith in humanity, faith in God, etc., how that faith gives us hope, and how that faith binds us together in whatever way it is, because we get through it with the support of each other and with our faith. And you see it among the council members and their circles of community.
This is might seem like a small thing, but it's something I really appreciate. I don't know about you guys, but I'm on a lot of WhatsApps now. And I think you guys are all on multiple WhatsApps or chat groups and all these places. And sometimes you might have a week or a day or a month or a year where you just don't have the bandwidth to keep up, right? So you get backed up. There's a backlog of messages in one of your WhatsApps. And then this happens to me where I'm like, oh goodness, I can't now respond to a later comment because I know I've missed other things and somebody's going to be offended or hurt that I didn't comment. But that the culture that we have here with the SCIC, where there's a lot of grace for one another, right? That we all know that the other one is praying for us, is thinking about us, even if they haven't sent a well-worded text message that's properly timed. And I know I have really appreciated that grace at times. And here's Milia with like, I love the scarf, Milia.
Speaking of the grace aspect, it's good time that I came in. What time is it? It's 9:16. Sorry, guys. I had some technical difficulties. I couldn't sign on. My camera wouldn't allow me to get on. I think it was saying, really, you don't need to be on camera right now because it's been a long week. And then I guess I wasn't ready, but I'm so sorry. How is everyone?
Great.
Yeah, good. I was following you guys on Facebook, but then I was like, well, maybe that's why something's not happening, and I just couldn't get on. So I really quickly, I'm sorry to interrupt the conversation that's going on, but for those of the world that's out there, I'm sure the rest of the executive board did an amazing job welcoming everyone and things like that. But just on behalf of myself as the director, can you guys believe it? It's already like the week of in 2000 and oh my gosh, I think Sarah, when I was logging on, I was hearing you and you were saying like what year or how long we've been in this process of being on Zoom and it's been almost 2 years now, right? I'm sorry, I know you guys might have talked about this already, but it's kind of crazy that we're still kind of in this genre, but also at the same time, I think it's also a blessing that we're able to that we can still be together like this amidst the circumstances that we're in. So technical difficulties or not, it's still a blessing at the end of the day, right? And how is everyone feeling? How is Sarah? How are you? I know you weren't feeling that great last night. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I think it's just, it's funny. I took this class on youth mental health first aid on Saturday, and it has a section built into it on self-help. And I need to stop. And I did, and it was hilarious because I'm like, oh, okay, I got that. Let me just, but I think we should probably do a program or actually give ourselves some time one day to just talk about that. Because I think a lot of us here really live a life of service or whether it's service outside of the home or family, there's lots of ways to serve. And that self-help piece, just allowing ourselves that grace, again, coming back to grace. I think I struggle with that. And I know a lot of you struggle with that too.
Yeah, no, definitely. You guys catch me up. What all did you talk about so that I'm not repeating things that you guys did for the last almost 20 minutes because someone joined a little bit late?
I mentioned courageous conversations and also the some of the other programs that we have. One thing that I don't think we talked about specifically was Religion 101 and what a wonderful thing that is. I know Carol mentioned the Interfaith Cafes, but Religion 101, let's see. How many times have we met this past year and how many different religions have we covered?
So it's a monthly program, and James Light, who is kind of the lead on this, he has been for the last 2 or more years, and he's just fantastic and just taking the lead and running with it. But every 4th Thursday of the month, except for in the summer, we stop around
November and December.
Yeah. So I mean, 10 months and out of the year, we're doing it, and it's great. But you're right. It's one of those programs that we see that at the end of the day, it's we always say that at the SCIC, we pride ourselves in creating communities of compassion among people of different faiths and cultures through service, education, and celebration. And definitely this Religion 101 is one of those programs that really, is one of our main programs under the education initiative, because we also realize that that's so important. I know that we were talking about how we have a community of people that that support one another, that we feel like we're brothers and sisters, and that's really, really great. But also at the same time, one of the things I love about the council is that we don't say that we're all the same, right? Because clearly we're not. I mean, even if you just look at the pictures of us right here in this screen, and can we just say the entire executive committee is women this year, which is another interesting fact, right? Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? But even amongst that, like, there's diversity, right? And I think one of the key things is that I love about the council is that we don't negate that, right? But we say that we come together not despite our differences, but because of it, and I think that's really important. And I think in part of the religious component of it is that I think it's also really important that the onus is on us to also learn about each other. And I think that's where the Religion 101 really comes in, because it allows us that little window into another person's faith and what that means to them and how it defines who they are. And so it's really great. So you're right, Marietta. I mean, the program's been going for years now, and even during the pandemic, we switched it to a Zoom, and I don't think we've missed a month. So it's been great. It's been really good.
The blessing about it being over Zoom is, first of all, you get to participate even if you can't travel to the location, and then we have all these recorded sessions that if people can't attend, they can go back and what did they talk about?
Right.
It's such an educational program.
Cheryl,
so much.
Cheryl, I got to ask you, how do you tolerate all of us? So Cheryl will send out an email, folks, don't forget to register for our SCIC event. And of course, half don't register. And then we'll get another email saying, dear Sarah, I went ahead and registered you. Here's your link. And then you'll still get a text message saying, Cheryl, where's that login again? Yeah, I don't know how because we're like 20 something board members, and each one of us, you're like, I'm sure it's like herding cats, I'm guessing, right?
It's a good thing she loves cats.
She does love cats.
It's a good thing she loves cats.
But Maria, to what you were saying.
Little kitten sitting with me.
Oh.
You can't really see him because he's all black and the lighting's not good.
But what Milia was saying, when you have that environment where people feel loved, safe, respected, they're willing to show up with their full selves. You also have a situation where we can leverage our various gifts and talents. So I'm going to take a moment to embarrass my fellow board members here, but each one of you, Patty's small business connections and how good she has, like her ability to continue to feed and nourish those relationships, the communication and coordinating with the organization and leveraging those relationships for the benefit of the wider community is so impressive and amazing. Every time we'll have some kind of an event coming up and we're supposed to collect sponsorships, Patty's one of the first. And that always is my little impetus, like, okay, Patty can do it. That means I need to be doing this too. And I'm sure I can do it. But that always gives me that little nudge. And then Marietta, I don't know. I think Marietta has, I cannot imagine what Marietta's virtual Rolodex must look like. Because like 9 times out of 10, Marietta's like, oh yeah, I have someone that can help us with that. Like, one day we're going to be like, oh, we're looking for a ventriloquist. And Marietta, oh yeah, I sat on the board of the American Association of Ventriloquists. I can hook you up with someone. And again, the common thread is the relationships that people on the board have in all these other spaces, whether they're their faith spaces or their, other civic engagement or community organizations. And again, we've talked about Marietta's Braver Angels, the ability to sit and have these meaningful conversations when there is disagreement, right? Which is similar to, that takes me to Susan, who we connected because of New Ground and some of the people. New Ground is the Muslim Jewish Partnership for Change. So Muslims and Jews sitting down to see each other as human beings and understand that experience. Of course, my child has chosen this time to come in and ask me for signatures. Can I do this in a couple minutes? Sorry about that. Yeah, Carol is our person that you want to go. So I've now, even in my other non-interfaith council work, Carol's been so kind. I'm like, Carol, can you spell check and edit my work here? or just also like, can you please take a look and see if this makes sense to you? Are these good ideas? What do you really, her sincerity in contributing and adding perspective and value has been deeply moving. And Cheryl can learn how to do just about anything on a computer.
Anytime.
Yes. I surely thought last week, we were trying to figure out how to go live on Facebook and YouTube, right? Which we have not done as a council yet. And we're getting so close to the time for Long Beach Gives. And I'm like, surely Cheryl's going to say, it's a little bit close for me to figure out how to do this. Nope. Cheryl jumped right in and said, yes, sure. I'd love to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
We have such great connections through this council that, there was somebody else, that was willing to teach me what to do. And, it's just amazing.
And that was Kelly, right? Through Pacific
Yes.
Unitarian Church.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kelly Kinsman. Yeah, she's amazing. So generous with her time and talents.
And Milia, the thing that I'm gonna stop talking after this, but I got to mention you too, Milia. The thing that with Milia that I think I don't think I'll ever quite figure out. Her, if you hear Milia talking about faith and community, I think the liberation theology has really resonated with you over the years, and your deep love and really it's a love for all the various faith communities and traditions that one would think, okay, well, maybe she's not really that Muslim. Maybe, yeah, but then at the same time, I know because you and I connect a lot, how deeply you adore and love Islam. So to hold love for both at the same time in such an inspirational way is something else. But and I'm so sorry. Susan, my kid walked in.
I think it's really a testament to our community, right? Because and they always say, like, you become a product of the environment in which you find yourself in. And I think that's for me, I want to be careful of our time. I know that we said, when we said half an hour when we were creating this program outline, and we said, yeah, the morning we'll just do like 9 to 9:30. And in my mind, I said, we're going to get all of us together on Zoom and we're going to try to finish it in half an hour. So let's see. So I think we might go a little bit over, but one of the things that I love about the council in all, like, one of the core things that I love is I had the mixed pleasure of studying theology. And I say that because it's not, it's something that for me, at least, there's so much, right? You're studying all these different faith traditions and you're not just studying them, like you're reading the text that these, the sacred text of these faith traditions and things like that. And it can be really overwhelming and like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But what I love in the work that I do is that then you take it from that and you see people and you meet people who, exactly what you said, they love what they practice. They love their faith, whatever that faith is, right? And that's inspirational because that's something that unites all of us, because it's something that they're rooted in, but that thing that they're rooted in, it isn't something that's just for them, but in fact, they find that they can become a better Muslim, a better Christian, a better Buddhist, a better, a better person of the Baha'i faith, whatever it may be, when in fact they're in community with one another. And I think, I can't believe I've been in this position for, my goodness, it's going on like 13 years, which is like, honest to God, when I first started this position, I was right out of academia and I was like, okay, it'll be like research for a few years while I look at my, doctorate programs, and then I'll get back in and I'll start studying and, doing my doctorate work. But it's, time truly does fly because you'd see people such good people, people that are such, they're devout to their faith traditions, but at the same time, they also recognize that one of the core aspects of their faith traditions is to be in community with one another and to be respectful of one another and to really see that humanity that ties us all together. And I think that's one of the core things that has really continuously inspired me to continue the work of the council. And it's a rare, it really is, it's a rare thing that we have this within our communities, and it really is a blessing to be a part of it. So for sure, yes.
Also the gift of, or the talent of loving bravely. And that's something I've seen Susan embody more in such an incredible way. And recently Susan's mother passed away, and Susan was sharing, and Susan, this is how I remember it, so I might remember incorrectly, feel free to correct me. But Susan was sharing how her mother, when she loved people, she loved people bravely, wholeheartedly, and wasn't afraid of losing herself. Sometimes we worry that if we love fully, if we listen fully to the other person, that we might lose our own identity, our own self, maybe our own position on something. But I remember her sharing some stories, and the stories I don't remember the details of, but I remember taking back that, oh, that's where Susan gets it, right? That ability to love fully and completely, even when it seems really challenging and difficult. And so I'm so grateful to share this space. And Susan, I hope you get a chance to tell us a little bit about, because this is a special, we're in High Holy Days, and we also have a guest here. So I don't know if we're going to have a moment to say hello.
So we've just come out of the 10 days of awe in Judaism, which starts the Jewish New Year, and the holiest day of our year, the Day of Atonement. In Judaism, the belief is we don't seek forgiveness from God until we seek forgiveness for those that we have somehow wronged, somewhere where we talk a lot about missing the mark and the mistakes we all make. And so during that time, you're supposed to reach out to folks and apologize for things you may have done to hurt them. And it's not until then that you then pray to God for your forgiveness. And we pray in a communal way. There's a set of prayers called the Vadui, where we kind of symbolically beat our chest and we name off all these sins of the community, not our individual sins, but as a community, so as not to embarrass any individual. And then coming out of that, starting tonight, we have the festival of Sukkot. And Sukkot is, there's a few different ways to define it, but it's basically huts or temporary dwellings. And it marks the time that the Jews were wandering before they entered the land of Israel. So it's very specific that your hut should be open on one side. It can be closed on three sides, but it has to be open on one. And the roof should not be permanent. You should be able to see the stars through the roof. So you'll see at this time of year, Jewish people collecting like palm fronds is what's commonly used, so that you can still see the stars. And you decorate your sukkah, which is what the hut is called. You decorate it. It's also a festival of the fall harvest, the last harvest. And so you'll see people decorate it with fruits or vegetables, whether they're real or fake. And we have a tradition of inviting people into our sukkah. If you think back to biblical times, when you think of Abraham and he saw the strangers coming and he invited them into his tent. And so we invite both living, breathing people and those who have passed. We invite their spirit. So people may hang pictures of prophets or people that they admire or family members or what have you. And very traditional Jews will eat in their sukkah. They will sleep in their sukkah. So it's a festival that goes for 7 days. And for the very observant of Jews, they observe the first 2 days would be days off work and days spent in prayer and that sort of thing. For me as a Reformed Jew, it's a observance that we have. It's a tradition that we share. We usually have our Shabbat service in the sukkah at temple. Temple Bethel has done something unique with some artwork this week that I'm excited to see tonight. So it's one of those lesser known times of or holidays on the Jewish calendar that most people don't often get to know about. And with that, I would like to invite Don Garrick, who is with the City of Long Beach, who's joined us this morning.
Well, I'm actually with the
Orange.
Orange County Interfaith Network, where I'm vice president. I was a co-founder in 2007. I'm amazed at your ability to put on 14 programs in 1 week. Like thousands. And so I've told my friends, the Interfaith Council presidents and leaders around Orange County who I coordinate, and the Orange County Interfaith Network board. We have about 18 people from diverse faiths and some other interfaith friends about this. And I hope they're not having trouble getting into the systems like I had this morning. So I'll try to make it easy for them. Usually I have a one-click thing in my emails I send out. There you have to work through the flyer and this sort of thing. So I hope that's not one reason more people aren't on, because it's a little hard to get in. Anyway, you guys are wonderful. Thank you. We would like to support you in any way we can as the Orange County Interfaith Network.
Thanks, Don. I know that we see you at many of our activities, and I've seen you at our interfaith councils. I think you've been to some of our Religion 101s, and I've seen you at things in person and on Zoom. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah.
Well, let me know if I can help in some way.
Oh, well, you being here is help in itself. So thank you for getting the word out. And you're right, it is a lot of programs, and it just, it really just kind of came like that. And then we realized, my goodness, there's a lot of programs going on. But then instead, that's what we, I think one of the things that everybody in the council really kind of adheres to is that at the end of the day, all we can is do our best, right? And we certainly do, try our very best to do the very best that we can, and then, and throw and just put it out there and see how it goes. But I'm super excited. There's a lot of programming. There was a lot of organizing. And Cheryl, I know you were up way late at night because I would send an email and it was like literally like 2 something, and Cheryl like just responded back, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So so
you were up too.
well, it takes all of us were, right? But I think again, it's because we love what we do, and we hope that what we're doing is something that is beneficial to others. And I think it truly is, and I think that's what inspires us to continue to do it, because otherwise, we always joke about the fact that none of us are definitely in this work for the money that's involved or things like that, but really it really is a calling and a passion. And I think we all feel very blessed that we're able to be in part of a setting that allows us to live that out, and to create a network and develop friends through it. I think it's a really fantastic thing. I do want to be respectful, though. I know that it is 9:38, and I'm sure our Dawn and the executive committee, I'm sure you guys have other meetings as well happening throughout the day. So again, I apologize. I know I started a bit late. It was actually my daughter. I have a 2-year-old who's watching Bubble Guppies as we speak right now, who's having some unprecedented access to screen time this past week. So she's very happy about Long Beach Gives. So she's very happy about this. But in the process of all this, what I found out is she pressed the little button that cancels the camera to work at all. And which is like, I was like, what is happening? And then, because yesterday she was pretending like she was me. And so she was on my lap and pressing all these buttons. And I thought it was cute until this morning. I realized why. But in any case, I do apologize. And I want to ask my friends here, did we talk about the rest of the programming? Did we get it? Okay, great. So I think let's really quickly, let's do that so that we can kind of just give an overview of what we plan to do. And I know a lot of people may not be able to join us as we're doing this live, but that's precisely the reason why it's still on Facebook and on YouTube. And it will be something that will be shared throughout our newsletter as well. But the idea was that last year, it really just kind of happened organically. Sarah Dean was the president last year, and we were, this Long Beach initiative was, Gives initiative was the thanks to Cheryl, really, you know, she's the one who said, hey, here's this initiative, let's apply for it. I said, oh, sure. And so we were learning as we were going. And one of the things we realized is that, wow, this is kind of great. Like, we're connecting through this means of Zoom and the internet and things like that. So let's continue that. But let's also make it an opportunity where we really just show a little glimpse of what the SCIC is, of what we really stand for. You know, we always talk about we pride ourselves in creating communities of compassion among people of different faiths and cultures through service, education, celebration. But really, what does that mean, right? So what we try to do is, as a board and as the executive committee, is sit down and say, let's just offer a little glimpse of the various type of programs that we do. Some of that, obviously, we can't encapsulate everything, that show our viewers and show our supporters that, hey, your support, your donations, your funding, it's going towards so that we can continue programs like this. Because I think one of the key things that's so important about the work of the SCIC is our programs. You know, it's programs that connect the hearts, right? It's programs that allow us to know one another. It's programs that allow us to know us beyond what we look like externally. And I'm amazed at how, I truly am amazed at how many people will reach out back to us and say, you know, hey, this is the first time that I met someone of this faith or of that faith, and it was because of the program that you guys did. And that's something that we take great pride in. I mean, I have my glasses on, Cheryl, and even with my glasses on, I don't think I can read this. I know it's a lot. It's quite small, and we wanted to get everything into one flyer at least, and we'll have subsequent flyers throughout the week that will be shared via social media as well as on Constant Contact. But just a really quick a synopsis of this week. So today's Monday, obviously. So we have programs from today through a really Friday. And what we did is we kind of divided the day into 3 parts. And so we said, hey, those who can join us, that's fantastic. Join us. If you weren't able to, you know, we'll have it live. It'll still be on our social media. You can watch it later. It'll be on our YouTube channel. You can watch it there. But we wanted to, again, do our part to show that, hey, you know, we love what we do. Your support isn't going just, it's being utilized so that we can create programs like this, so we can bring people together. So let's just really quickly, like for today, obviously to this morning, 9 to 9:30, and I have to say we're actually quite punctual about starting and ending, except my example completely just, you know, negated that, joining late, and now we're going a little bit late, so we ask your forgiveness for that. But the next program that we have coming up is actually on the art of faith, and this is a conversation with 2 really fantastic artists who really are motivated by their faith and inspired by their faith to do what they do. And again, it's just an example of what we want to share. One of the key things of the council is we pride ourselves in providing a platform for other people to share who they are and to showcase their talents, and for us to learn from them insofar as how faith inspires them. So this is a conversation really with these artists and this musician about how their faith inspires the work that they do. So I hope that you'll be able to join us for that. And then and ending today at 7 to 8 p.m. our evening program is a conversation and a discussion that we're going to have. You know, as an Interfaith Council, we love being together with one another. We love engaging with one another. We love building these relationships and these friendships. But at the same time, and I think I heard Sarah, and I think maybe it was Marietta talk about it, you know, at the end, we don't always agree though, right? And that's meant to be, because we're all each individuals. And particularly, again, when it comes to faith, because we're not a council that says that you have to, you know, all look alike or all be the same. Absolutely not. We're a council that says that at the end of the day, we honor and respect the fact that there are differences between us, but let's look within those differences and still connect on a human level, right? Let's still connect on those things that unite us as human beings. And let's use that to build community. Let's use that to build community around us. And let's use that to make this world a better place. And so the conversation, I think I'm really looking forward to it, is we titled it Finding Common Ground in a Divisive World, Operating from a Faith-Based Perspective. So how do we do that? How do we still work together, even when sometimes differences arise, right? And that's really an opportunity, and that's really a time when our faith really does shine through, and the moral and ethical precepts that are in our faith that unites us together. So we hope that you can join us for that conversation. I know Sarah and Marietta, you guys took the lead on it. Thank you so much. And we have some guests who will be joining us as well. Real quick for tomorrow, again, the morning we'll start out with a kind of a faith connection. So we have spiritual connection through scripture. We'll be focusing on the Islamic faith. For lunch, we're going to have, it's food and faith. Let's have lunch together. And tomorrow it's actually with a past president of the SCIC, Dr. Rini Ghosh, who's also a member of the Hindu community. So we are, Sarah is going to be at her house, and we'll basically have a conversation about her faith while she cooks a delicious meal, and while they engage in that meal. And again, we learn about one another. There's nothing like food that brings people together, right? Even virtually. Tomorrow night, we have a spoken word, Visions of a Hopeful Future. Dr. Anthony Lee, who's a member of the Baha'i community and a member of my board, he loves the humanities. He loves poetry. Pre-pandemic, we used to have these, it was called Evenings with Rumi, where they were so kind, and they would open their home, and we would come together as an interfaith community, and we would engage in poetry reading and music and dancing, and again, just the way the arts would bring us together. So we kind of took that and put it on like a virtual format. So it's the spoken word tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. Fast forward to Wednesday. Again, all the programs are at the same times, 9 in the morning, 12, and then 7. So the 9 in the morning tomorrow, we have on Wednesday, the spirituality through meditation from the Christian faith perspective. We have another great lunch with another past president of the SCIC, Cantor Elon Davidson. And again, we used to have another program called Cooking with the Cantor, where we would bring people together, and Elon would cook something from the Jewish faith tradition, and we would have fellowship, but at the same time, we would learn about one another, and we would learn about the Jewish faith. So tomorrow we have that, Wednesday, food and faith. Let's have lunch together with Cantor Elon Davidson from Temple Beth El in San Pedro. At Wednesday night, we have Hope Through Music, an evening of song and dance, where we have music from the Baha'i, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Native American, fingers crossed, and some other faith traditions that are coming together and really showcasing how music unites us together. Thursday, the meditation will be with Native American practices, particularly Chief Ramos, who's a dear friend of the SCIC. That afternoon, we have the dinosaurs who are going to come back. If you guys are familiar with Long Beach Gives from last year and the SCIC, we had the debut of some dinosaurs, and we'll talk a little bit more about that because they are returning, as you can see, on Thursday. So please do, stay tuned for that. Religion 101, we talked a bit about that. It's, again, this Thursday is the last Thursday of the month, which is when we have Religion 101. So it was fantastic. It fit into our week of programs. So we'll have that. And Friday, we'll have meditation from the Buddhist faith tradition, and then really an opportunity in the afternoon for us to get together and just kind of recap and rewind and reflect on this week, show our gratitude to everyone who are our supporters, our friends, show our gratitude to Long Beach Gives for this initiative. It's it's a huge thing that they take on every year, and we're just so incredibly grateful for that. So really a time to just kind of reflect and come together. So if you don't remember all this, it's okay. You can go on our website and you will find a little thing there that says, hey, click here for our Long Beach Gives programs. You just click on that. It's a PDF that comes up, and all the links where it says register here, they're live links. So what that means is you just go there, you register, and you're good to go, and you'll get the information to join us. Or you can just join us on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live. And oh my goodness, that was a lot of talking. Did I miss anything? You guys, there it is. Thank you, Cheryl. Yes. So you'll see, click here for a Long Beach Gives program. They'll open the PDF. And if you if you go, Cheryl, if you, yeah, see, there's a little finger come, that means you can, and there you go. All right. Okay, Cheryl, there it is. So it's super easy. I know there's a lot of programs, but we hope that you're able to do that. Anything else, guys, that I've missed in my rambling for trying to explain
And
everything?
please donate
Yes,
to
absolutely.
the SCIC.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please do. I think, this is, again, this is one of those initiatives that, I know that I think all the nonprofits that are associated or affiliated with Long Beach Gives, we're just so deeply, deeply appreciative of this initiative, because at the end of the day, all of these nonprofits, and certainly nonprofits like the SCIC, we're a small grassroots organization. We've been here, but here's the thing, we've been here for over 60 years. And I think that's a testament to the organization in itself. And right now, and not even just right now, even for probably the last, my goodness, 7, 8, 9 years, it has been over 90% of our operating costs and all our costs in creating the programs, it's been supported by individual donations, and again, that's, I think, a testament to the program, to the council itself, because it all adds up, and that's how we're able to continue the work that we do. So we love what we do, but at the end of the day, we're not able to do it unless we have that support. And so we are so grateful for the support that you've given us thus far. And we ask you to please, there's so many causes you can support, of course, and they're all fantastic. But we ask you that if you're able to, that if you're moved by the work that we do, that you please do support us. No amount is too small. Please know that, there's this, I always emphasize that. I'm always amazed at when we have these donations that come in and there's a little note in the envelope. I keep them because those are inspiration to me. There'll be little notes like, I remember last year we received someone from, I believe it was the Buddhist community. And she said, I'm on a fixed income, right? I'm on a fixed income. I have Social Security. That's how I support myself. But I know this isn't a lot, but this is my contribution that I can make on a yearly basis. And I think it was less than $10. I think it was a $5 check that they sent in. But I tell you what, that $5 check meant $1 million to me, because it shows that this individual, that they find that the programs that we do and who we are means something to that person, that even within those constraints, they're able to give that. And so I see that so much, and I'm so appreciative of that. So please know that truly no amount is too small. On the opposite side of the coin, if you have a few million just hanging around, just, in your account that you're like, I don't know what to do with it, tax deductible donations, my friends, just hand it on over to us. Trust that we will utilize it in the most effective way that will be of benefit to the community. And we will be happy to take that. So please, no amount too small or too big. We're happy for all the donations and contributions. Anything else, guys? Have I missed anything else? Marietta, Susan, Carol, Sarah, who are we? Cheryl, Patty, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn, does this mean you're going to join the council? Because you know me, when I see people that, are like, oh, hey, Dawn, how are you? You never know what happens, but thank you for being here, Dawn. We appreciate that. So thank you. And so we apologize for the delay for my part, starting late on my part and going late on all of our parts, but I think we're just super excited. We want to get everything out there. But we will see you guys at noon, and particularly at noon, I know it'll be Susan and I for sure, and Cheryl and our other friends. And so please register, and and just let us know if there's any way that we can be of service to you. And anything else, guys, before we say have a good rest of the morning?
Happy Monday.
Say that again.
I said a happy Monday.
A happy Monday, yes. And prayers for my camera to continue working for the rest of the week. That would be very nice. So thank you guys so much. So we'll see you at noon, where we'll have great conversation with a musician and a music, as well as an artist, and we'll continue then. So have a great rest of the morning. Take care. Don't forget to donate, and we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Nice to meet you.